welcome to Bettor Reacts here on Dead Money Sports, the show where we look at Hollywood's interpretation of sports betting in movies and television shows. This week, we're doing Hoop Schemes, movies that were based on basketball that involve some sort of sports betting or something around sports betting. We've got three movies to look at. One of them is fiction, but is based in events that have happened, but the characters are fictitious. The second movie is based on reality. The characters are real, but Hollywood has taken some creative liberties with the script in the show. And then the third movie is actually a biographical documentary based in fact with actual accounting of the events from the athletes, the gamblers, and the law enforcement officers that were involved in this story. So we're going to take a look at our three movies, and the first film that we're going to take a look at is Blue Chips. This stars Nick Nolte and Shaquille O'Neal. This is when Shaq first entered the NBA and was playing for the Orlando Magic. This film was made. This movie more is about illegal recruiting in college sports at that time. Obviously, they didn't have the NIL like they do now. So this is about a coach who is on the hot seat because his team hasn't been performing well, and the boosters are not happy with the performance of the team. So they go out and they bribe several top recruits to come and play for this college team. Now, the sports betting aspect of it is used as a MacGuffin to push the story forward because, like I said, the movie really has to do with illegal recruiting, but the sports betting aspect of it is a way to for the boosters to put leverage on the coach by compromising him through one of his players in a points shaving scheme. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this video clip from the movie Blue Chips, where the booster first makes it known that he compromised one of his players.
Bag, you know that?
I didn't break any laws. You did. You broke the collegiate athletic laws. It's your career that's on the line, not mine.
My career's in my own hands.
I own you. I just open my mouth, rumors start to fly about you, for instance.
I've lived through accusations. I walked away from
The alleged point shaving incident, think again, that thing happened.
Get out of here. Tell me about it.
Why don't you try this one? January 16th, 3 years ago, I bought one of your boys, Coach.
No kid of mine would ever fix a game.
Why don't you just go to the videotape, Coach? I own you, Pete. You're mine.
So there you see the booster letting it be known to the coach that one of his players has been compromised, and in showing that he has dirt on him. But the thing of it is most of the time boosters, they want the team to be successful. They don't want them to lose games or to hurt the team in any way. So it's kind of strange for them to now come out and say, look, we've compromised one of your players, unless he was just planning on using that as a way to blackmail the coach later on. Um, I guess that's why he would do it. But most of the time, boosters want their teams to do well, right? Like, why would he just randomly have one of the players on the team shaving points? You know what I mean? Is he a gambler or is he a businessman booster? They don't really go into that. He's seen as somebody who is, just a prominent alumni who wants the team to do well. That's why he pays money to get the star recruits like Shaquille O'Neal and all the other guys that they bring in to make the program better. So I never understood that, other than it's just a part of the story that they use to, push forward this thing that somehow he's got dirt on the coach, and so the coach isn't going to say anything. But so now we're going to take a look at the scene where the coach is now going back and looking at the tape that the booster just said, go check this game on this day and watch your guy. And we're going to take a look at this scene right here.
What's going on, Pete? Happy said somebody shaved some points 3 years ago. Happy's full of shit, Coach.
I remember this game. I remember seeing this on TV when I was coaching Oklahoma. I think you guys won us by 8.
Yeah, that's Tony.
Oh, yeah, Sweet J.
That was the spot, wasn't it?
God damn.
Bang him from right there.
Oh, nice.
Bam, look at that.
What was the spread?
What? Point spread?
What was the point spread? Point spread, man. We won the game.
We won the game. Matter of fact, we were up by a lot. They came back on us.
Yeah. It's a pretty good year, but we were
16 and 12.
12.
Yeah, we went to NIT and lost the first round.
Yeah. Should have won 20 that year.
Oh, this was a rebuilding year, man. All these guys were freshmen. They were kids.
How many did you hit?
22, 23.
25 points that night. Bro.
Yeah.
He was all over the place.
Yeah, he was hot.
Guy just blew right by him, standing there with his thumb up his ass.
I remember he pulled a hamstring in practice that week, man. He shouldn't even been playing.
Uh-huh. He's tough,
What the hell
though.
was he doing playing with a hamstring?
Tough-ass kid from Chicago.
Who the hell did he throw? See, there's nobody there.
Come on, man. We averaged 17 turnovers as a team that year. Everybody was throwing the ball away. Hell, he averaged 20 points a game that year, man. Shit, he was all conference as a freshman.
Offense.
Run a clean program here, man. We worked hard to keep this program clean.
I guarantee you didn't cover this spread that night. There must have been heavy action in Vegas. Somebody got rich. It's the worst case of ball handling I've seen in the 2 years I've been here.
Look, he was a freshman, Freddie. He's making freshman mistakes.
Had a bad leg, too. Don't forget that.
All night, mistakes, all night. The coach on his ass.
Coach is still on his ass 4 years later. No way. No way.
Looking at the clock again.
It's a good kid, man.
You know, what kind of shot's that? What kind of shot? There's another bad pass.
Shut up, Freddie. All right, Tony was my guy. All right, my guy.
Tony.
And so there you see the coaches are going back over the game film, and they're watching the night that the booster told them that they shaved points, right? And now they're looking at it and saying, well, maybe why was he playing so poorly in that game? And what we're going to see later on in the movie that's based on fact, the gamblers and the athletes in that documentary both say it's very hard to determine when a basketball player is shaving points, because it's as simple as a missed shot, not playing good defense, maybe not going hard for a rebound, throwing a bad pass. it's very difficult to determine when a player is shaving points because it just could be an off night. The reason why most of these gamblers that are manipulating the outcome of games get caught is because they end up betting these random games and just betting outrageous amounts of money on a game that normally doesn't draw that kind of attention. That's the thing that really draws the attention of the sports books. When they see unusual action on games that don't normally draw that kind of action, all of a sudden the questions start, what exactly is going on here? Why is this player playing so poorly? And that's when they start going back and looking back over prior game tapes to determine whether or not maybe something was a foul. Then they start looking into the people who are placing the bets and any affiliation they may have had with the player, which is, again, something that we're going to see in one of these other movies that is ultimately what leads to the downfall of these players. But now we're going to take a look at the scene where the player who shaved points comes clean to the coach.
Now you tell me the truth.
What's up with you, man?
Did you or did you not shave points?
Coach, man, it's me, Tony, man. Why do something like that? What's wrong with you?
Cut the bullshit. Did you take money? Did you shave points?
No, I didn't. I swear to God, no. Come on, Coach, Coach, I wouldn't have to. Coach, you tell me the truth, you man. You tell me the truth, man. Tell me the truth. Just once. And just I'm damn right. We just didn't come to this goddamn spread. I mean, who cares about the spread? That's just for the damn gamblers, ain't it? Coach, man, I'm sorry.
And so there you see, even he knows, the point spread's only there for the gamblers. It's not there for the players or any of that stuff. So for them to just win the game should have been enough. But obviously, you once you start treading into that world of where you're manipulating the outcome of the games, we're going to see it in the other documentary. Then the gamblers don't want you just to win and not cover the spread. They're going to want you to throw games. Because that's where the big money can come from. And so, you have to be careful, because once you start going down that path, it's only a matter of time before shaving points becomes throwing games. So that's Blue Chips. If you've never seen it, go check it out. It's a pretty good movie. It's got Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Nolte. Anthony Hardaway plays one of the players who takes money to play for Western, the Nick Nolte's team. And the story is that this was before Anthony Hardaway was drafted. And during this filming, he was constantly, having good chemistry with Shaquille O'Neal. And Shaq went back and told the management of the Orlando Magic, the team he was playing for at the time, to draft Anthony Hardaway. And though they did end up drafting Chris Webber #1, because they had back-to-back #1 picks. Remember, they drafted Shaquille O'Neal. Next year, they drafted Chris Webber. They ended up trading Chris Webber to Golden State for Anthony Hardaway and some other draft picks, I believe, to compensate for the #1 pick. So he did end up playing with Shaquille O'Neal after they met and got to know each other and realized they had great chemistry as a 1-2 big man and a point guard. And ended up having some great seasons with the Orlando Magic, including making the NBA Finals. But so, yeah, again, check out Blue Chips. It's a pretty good movie all now. Now, the next film we're going to check out is based in reality, although the script writers do take some liberties with the actual movie itself, or the actual story itself, as it's not fully known all the details of what transpired. But it's called Inside Game, and this is the story of Tim Donaghy, the referee in the NBA for many, many years, who was eventually found to be influencing the outcomes of games to help gamblers that he was friends with profit from the knowledge that he had. And it started out with him giving them kind of like injury news updates, things that insiders would only know. Also, whether or not referees were going to call certain games a certain way. They would. It started off with him first telling just his friends, that they were going to, call games a certain way in order to make sure that because maybe they had it in for certain players or whatever. And so his friends would actually use this information to place bets. And then it got a little out of control. They got involved with some bookies. And it's weird because he really threw away his career for not very much money. But so here's a scene in the movie in the beginning where he walks in on a player being examined by the medical staff and finds out that the player is probably not going to play. And it's certainly information that the gamblers could use to, it's like inside information.
Try to relax, okay? Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Just need an Advil, Doc. Sitting this one out tonight?
It's a game time decision.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Help yourself, Tim. Go ahead, Tim. Help yourself.
First realizing that he's got insider information in the injury department, which can help out his gambler, his friends who are placing bets on the games. And it's kind of the starting point of where it all begins to go wrong for Donaghy and his crew, or his friends. And what happens is his friend actually ends up letting the cat out of the bag that he's got insider information. And that ends up getting back to some bookies who they want to get in on the action. They want to get their opportunity to benefit from, this insider information. And so this is when he gets propositioned by one of the gamblers to, give him the inside information so that he can use it to bet.
An airport hotel lounge. What are we getting laid before dinner?
Far from it, buddy.
The fuck is he doing here? What is wrong with you? I can't be seen with a bookie, Tommy.
This is for you, bro. Sorry. Come on.
I'm not staying, Baba. No offense.
Yeah, I missed you too, buddy.
I could lose my job for this.
Duns. Relax. All right, we're just a couple of friends having drinks. I mean, it's not like I'm your old friend Jack Kincannon, huh? It's not like you're giving me sharp picks so I can go off and bet them with my old friend Pete Ruggieri.
I don't know what you're talking about. The fuck, Tommy?
Oh, is it true?
Is what true?
And see, that's what he's just talking about. He's been giving inside information to his buddy so his buddy could place bets on the information that he's given him, and his friend, let it be known that he was getting this insider information, and now this bookie wants to get in on the action. He wants the inside information as well so he can profit from inside information. I mean, it's, this is just how this kind of stuff works out. They want to win, they want to know that it's a guaranteed winner. And so, he's kind of pressuring him into working with them, and, he lets him know that he'll give him some money for the information.
Listen to this.
I need answers, numbnuts. The Bobcats and T-Wolves line just jumped 2 fucking points for no reason at all. But we all know this ain't magic, right? Someone got their hands inside the NBA's cookie jar. And we need to find out who the fuck it is. Have I made myself clear, or are you just stupid?
I want to run down on every NBA game in the last 6 weeks where the line jumped more than 2 points.
What are we looking for?
People.
Oh.
Not even trying, Dad.
No, I am, sweetheart. I just suck at shuffleboard.
Yo!
Oh, Uncle Tommy's here, sweetheart. Why don't you go upstairs, get yourself a snack, okay? Come back down in 20 minutes.
What's up, Mary B?
Dungy said the line moves are a huge red flag. He's worried you're betting too much on his game.
Oh, okay. What do you say, Tommy?
I don't want to get caught.
To give you his pick for tonight?
Chuck's coming to dinner at 6 p.m.
Good, very good. Okay, so Elvis likes Denver -6.
Yeah.
What do you think I should do?
Should bet hard on Denver -6.
We could. But wouldn't it be better for us to bet Denver -3?
Sure, but the line is 6.
Come here. Have a seat, Tommy. I'm gonna show you how I make the fucking donuts. Is everybody there?
We're all here, big guy. What do you got?
Okay, listen. Denver's laying 6 to Utah. Bet Utah hard, getting anything more than 3. You got that, Buckley?
Balls to the walls on Utah to win. Got it.
Ball's on the fucking railroad track. See, Enciola?
Got it.
Okay, now get the fucking position and report back so I can keep track.
You just bet the wrong team, dude.
Maybe. Maybe not. But remember, the point is Denver -3. Okay? Watch this. See what I just did there?
You bet $80,000 on Utah +6 to win.
Now close your eyes and wait for it.
Wait for what?
Close your fucking eyes. Go ahead.
Major line move. Major line move. Major line move.
It's dropping to 5.5.
That's right. And the whole world is watching. You see, Tommy, these 6 offshore websites, they report line changes in real time. 80K in 20 seconds on a random-ass Tuesday night regular season game? That could only happen for one reason. The smart money, the pro money, the steam is on Utah. Right now, 2 things are happening. A, the halfway intelligent followers are getting their money down on Utah as fast as possible to get that number while it lasts. Because B, the sports books are now adjusting their lines downward to attract clueless squares to put their money down on the wrong side of the bet.
Utah to win 10 grand? Which is actually the right side.
Hey, now he gets it. And only 3 people on the planet know about it.
Major line move. Major line move.
The line's at 4.5.
Yeah, it'll take a while to get to 3.
But Baba,
You want to play some shuffleboard?
hey, this is exactly what Dungy's worried about. Red flag city.
You fucking worry too much. That's the problem.
Chad.
And so there you see the bookie is manipulating the market, which does happen normally. Like with the NFL, you'll get big bettors, the pro bettors, to the sharps to bet into the number, and the book will use that information to change the line, to adjust the line, but they keep the limits lower earlier in the week. And then as they get more information from, the injuries and all that stuff, as well as the betting market and where the sharp money is going, they'll adjust the line accordingly and increase the limits. Now, this does happen where you'll see syndicates and other big bettors, sharps, come in early in the week, bet the number, the sports books adjust the line, and then they come back when the limits are higher and bet the other side. And they're manipulating the market. Now, sports books obviously know this tactic, so they don't, change the lines drastically. There has to be something else that's, influencing it other than just certain people betting, because the object for sports books is to get equal action on both sides. And so they're going to adjust the number to attract bettors to bet the other side if they've got too much liability on one side of the market. So yes, this does happen. This is kind of a little bit of oversimplification of it, but it's a great way for people who aren't too familiar with the world of sports gambling to understand how markets are manipulated, how big bettors can move lines, and they can move lines to benefit themselves. But sports books are smart. They know who's working with who, and they can also limit bettors if they feel like there's collusion, like what these guys are doing, where they've got runners out there placing bets on one side, and then he's coming back with his own accounts and betting the other side to, try to capitalize on the line movement. You also saw the FBI was listening in, and that was how they ended up finding out about this. Some of the illegal bookmakers that they were watching, one of them was the person who was getting this information, and they began an investigation where they started comparing the results of certain games and whatnot to determine whether or not there was anything going on, if there was some manipulation going on. And what they found out is that there was, and eventually Donaghy was arrested, charged, convicted, served time. The gamblers were served time, and he was, removed from the NBA, obviously. And there were a lot of players that were very upset because there were some questionable games and some questionable calls by Tim Donaghy over his career, and it only just solidified what many of the players suspected, is that he was manipulating the outcome of the game for his own reasons. So check it out. It's called Inside Game. It is based on the real life story of Tim Donaghy, the NBA referee who was found to be manipulating the outcome of games, and he didn't make much money either, which was the sad part about the whole thing. He ruined his career and his reputation for very little money. So now the final movie that we're checking out in our hoop schemes is called Playing for the Mob. This is a documentary done by 30 for 30 by ESPN, and it talks about the point shaving scandal at Boston College, which was actually perpetrated by Henry Hill, Jimmy Burke, members of the crime family that were in the movie Goodfellas. And I talked about it in Goodfellas. There's a very small scene right when Maury gets killed, when he gets ice picked in the back of the head. If you listen to what Maury's saying, he says, "Hey, did you hear about the points we were shaving up at the college?" And that line is in reference to this film. And Henry Hill was involved in it. There were some other gamblers, gangsters that he was working with, that were more involved in the actual recruiting of the players to shave points. But they were Henry Hill and Jimmy Burke from that the movie Goodfellas were very much a part of it. And it was Henry Hill and his involvement in the witness protection program that was actually the catalyst for this whole thing blowing up. And to Henry Hill, he actually didn't think it was much of an issue, and yet it turned out that it ended up actually being the downfall of the crew, because the FBI charged them with these crimes, and it just so happened, you'll hear it in the show, one of the FBI agents was very offended for very good reasons, that they point shaved at Boston College.
Becoming a rat, you know, I mean, there was a point in my life I'd have put a 45 in my mouth and blew my brains out before I ever thought of becoming a rat.
The movie Goodfellas was based on a true story. It told about wise guys and a rule they all live by. Keep your mouth shut and never rat on your friends. It made a star out of one wise guy, and I played him, Henry Hill, who answered to this guy, Jimmy Burke. Every mobster knew that Burke was a cold-blooded killer. So now imagine getting mixed up with these wise guys.
Trouble at Boston College. A federal inquiry.
Well, that's just what happened to some college kids playing basketball in Boston.
I knew that I was suddenly in a situation in which I was already underwater.
I opened it up, I looked at it, and it was $1,000.
When you have them accepting the money, you got them. Those guys own their soul.
I didn't threaten them or nothing, I just told them it's hard to play basketball with a broken arm.
When it was all said and done, everybody paid.
Yeah, and so you see right off the bat, you know what I mean? They're talking about how the you know, everybody paid. Everybody got in trouble. It ended up being a bad situation for pretty much everybody involved, and they really didn't benefit much from their scheme, and yet it cost many of them their careers, their freedom, and a whole lot more.
Make dollars by gambling on games.
What do you think? I said, well, if you think this is going to work, let's give it a shot.
Like any scam, this one took planning. Here's how the whole thing works. Gamblers don't bet on teams to win or lose. They bet on how many points a team will win by. That's called the spread. What the fixers are looking to do is pick the games when BC is favored. Then they bet the other team and pay the BC players to keep the score under the spread. That's point shaving. So, if BC is favored by 7, they have to win by 6 or less so that everyone makes money.
The plan was to do whatever was necessary, committing a foul, committing a turnover, committing a mistake of some sort on the court to ensure that the other team could cover the spread.
To make the fix work, the guys in Pittsburgh had to have the right connections.
You couldn't bet no more than 5,000-10,000 at a time. Nobody's gonna take that much money off of you. So rather than go to bookmakers all over the United States, I would just rather go to New York, say, guarantee me 25, guarantee me $50,000 down.
The reason they needed me is because I had all of these bookmakers. You know, you needed 100 bookmakers, you know, to get down for as much money as we.
It is they're talking about how they can only bet so much, and as you're betting to these bookies, you know, the information's getting out there that all this money is coming in on this side, so those bookmakers, other bookmakers, are going to adjust the line before these guys can even get an opportunity to place their bets. You know, so they not, you know, even though they do know that it's pretty much a guarantee they're going to win, it's whether or not they can even get the bets down, because again, you know, you've got you know, when there's that much action on an obscure Boston College basketball game, bookmakers are going to start to wonder what the hell is going on, why so much money is being bet on this one team, and why this person who's placing all this bets keeps winning. The gambler or the bookmakers, they're not stupid. You know what I mean? They know that something is up when that kind of action keeps coming in, and yet the person keeps winning, because that's not typical. So now they want to know what the hell's going on.
College kid, people talk all the time. Rick had told me that Ernie was involved. To the extent, I have absolutely no idea. I never had a conversation with Ernie Cobb, never had a conversation with anybody else on the team about what was going on.
Figuring Cobb was on board, word came down to get the spread on BC Harvard.
I called Rick and told him the spread is 12. 12? We can keep it under 12 real easy.
Harvard game. It was at the old Boston Garden. I went to it along with Paul and Henry. Well, I remember we had good seats. We were real close, right down to the floor.
Before the game, Rick Kuhn said, look over there, and points to a section. And it's Henry Hill. It's the second time I had seen him in my life. And he said they're here to see that this is a successful proposition for them. I'm thinking, I just got to keep on playing to the best of my ability.
We're underway at Boston Garden, and the Boston College Eagles control the opening tap.
BC was in danger of losing that game, and it should never have even been a contest.
A Harvard game should not at the Garden. Oh, man. Oh. Clearly, we're a better team. We could have easily blown that team out.
Michael Bowie was BC's starting forward. He had a bird's eye view of what was happening on the floor.
If you're winning, then you tend to sort of dismiss a lot of things. When you see something, if there's a soft pass, a bounce pass, and it kicks off somebody's knee, all these little things that you know, but in the flow of the game, you don't have time to really dwell on it.
It's a very subtle thing with ball games. I mean, it's not really something obvious. It can be something as simple as a foul, simply as a turnover, or not being as aggressive as you might be for a rebound. But it really wasn't something that was able to be visible.
The final score was BC over Harvard, 86-83. BC kept its undefeated status intact, but just barely.
And so there you see one of the gamblers talking about it, that it's very hard to determine when somebody is actually trying to manipulate the outcome of the game in basketball, because it's very easy to have a missed free throw, a missed three-pointer, a turnover, don't go for the rebound, don't play defense on a particular play. And even though Boston College still won the basketball game, they did not cover the spread, which is exactly what the bookies wanted, because they knew that betting Harvard plus the points was a guarantee with what they were involved in with the point shaving and paying these players. Again, the problem is it eventually got to the point where the bookies didn't want them just to shave points. They wanted them to actually throw a game, and they didn't end up doing it. It ended up causing some problems, but eventually they just parted ways, and it wasn't until Henry Hill entered the witness protection program that any of this even came to light to law enforcement, and that's when all the problems started for these players and the bookmakers.
Children down to the office and talk to them about going into the witness protection program. And there's a scene in Goodfellas in which I play myself, talking to Ray Liotta and Lane Bracco, sort of recreating the scene that as it actually happened.
Henry's going to be in a witness protection program. They're not going to be able to get to him. The only way they can get to him is by getting to you, getting to your kids. If he goes into the program, forget about it. You're in a great deal of danger. I think you understand
I don't know
that.
anything.
Come on, you don't know anything. Don't give me the babe in the woods routine, Karen.
But in addition, what you don't see in the movie Goodfellas is that Henry had, waiting in another room, 2 girls he wanted to bring into the program with him. One was a girl from Pittsburgh, And I says, Henry, how did you guys meet? And he says, well, you know, we met. I went out to Pittsburgh, and I got fixed up with her for the weekend. And then she says, well, then that weekend we went up to Boston. He says, oh, yeah, we were up in Boston. We were fixing basketball games in them days. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, well, we were fixing games at BU. And I said, at BU? And I knew there were no lines on BU games in the 1978-1979 season. And I said, could it have been another school? Could it have been Boston College? Yeah, that's it.
He almost leaped over his desk.
Because I went to Boston College. I played freshman basketball for a while, and I was a big basketball fan. Now, right away, I'm thinking that he was just, sort of teasing me.
He thought that the FBI agents put me up to it, to screw with him.
The more I talked to him, the more I realized that this was the real deal.
I didn't even think it was a crime. I mean, this I was doing and it was going on in my life, I didn't even consider it a crime. Point shaving, honest to God. But it was a personal, slap in the face to him. But he got over it.
At first, his recollection was kind of hazy because they were using drugs for a good part of the time, and he couldn't remember the names of the players. I had at home an old schedule where they had the list of the BC kids, and I added about 10 more names. And I gave him the list of 25 names, and I said, who were the players? And he went, Cobb, Sweeney, Kuhn.
It gets better and better. Not only has he given him this point shaving scandal, he then almost casually mentions, well, who'd you work this with? Oh, Jimmy Burke. What? Jimmy Burke? Oh, yeah, we discussed it. We did this. Oh, my God. The college fix thing came about totally by accident. And no one anticipated that it involved Burke. Now, at long last, they can get Burke on that, or they think they could get Burke on that.
And so there you see, it came up totally by happenstance, because one of the things people have to do when they enter the witness protection program is tell the FBI all of the crimes they've committed. And like Henry Hill said, point shaving a couple of college basketball games, this guy's admitting to murders, armed robberies, the Lufthansa heist, the heist in the Goodfellas, multiple bodies, selling massive amounts of cocaine and other drugs, selling guns. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. To Henry Hill, shaving points in a basketball game was like absolutely, minuscule in the larger scheme of things. And yet, to this FBI agent who was an alumni of Boston College, he was very offended that they sullied and he played basketball when he first got to college there, freshman basketball. So he was very offended that they sullied the program of which he was an alumni to. And so he went after that particular avenue of investigation with enthusiasm, and it allowed them to go after Jimmy Burke, who was a notorious mobster with countless amounts of murders that he was tied to. It gave them a way to indict him on these federal charges, and with the testimony of Hill and eventually the testimony of the other individuals involved, they were able to get the real person that they wanted, who was Jimmy Burke. But it's just a great documentary. It really goes into detail about the intricacies of how this ties in with the mob, Boston College, the things that happened to the players and the mobsters afterward. And it's just interesting because if you watch Goodfellas, again, there's a very brief moment. There's a line when Maury, right before he gets killed, where he mentions it. Did you hear about the points we were shaving up there in Boston? And it's just like, most people think it's just a throwaway line. And yet, in reality, it was one of the biggest reasons why Jimmy Burke and that part of the mob were eventually brought down by the FBI. So definitely check it out. It's called Playing for the Mob. It's a 30 for 30 documentary on ESPN. You can find it in the, I believe it's the second season of 30 for 30s. So definitely go check it out. It's worth a watch. And I found it to be very informative, considering I enjoyed Goodfellas. I've seen it plenty of times, to find out that there was a whole nother aspect of the criminality that was going on in the lives of those members of the mob in Goodfellas. And again, Scorsese wanted to focus on the Lufthansa heist. That's why they don't really talk about it. But the reality was the FBI used the point shaving scandal as one of the ways that they were able to get Jimmy Burke indicted and eventually convicted. But there you have it. That is our episode of the Sports Bettor Reacts Hoop Schemes edition. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get to check out some of these movies that I featured here in the show. If you haven't already seen them, be sure to check them out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It'll definitely help me grow the channel. Let me know if you want me to make more of these Sports Bettor Reacts videos. But to everyone out there, take care of yourselves and have a good night.